Now the difference with VLOOKUP and HLOOKUP is that HLOOKUP does a horizontal search instead in order to find your answers. So in this video, we're going to demonstrate how we can use HLOOKUP to find some information. Now, as you can see, what I have here is a list of students to the top here, and I have a list of subjects that they performed in, and I have their respective scores in each of those subjects. I want to use the HLOOKUP function to retrieve their subject scores respectively. Once again, notice that the way that this table is constructed, the students' scores are listed horizontally. So we need to use HLOOKUP in this scenario to retrieve those scores. So let's demonstrate how that could be done. We're going to click in this cell, and once again we're going to type equal HLOOKUP this time. We can click tab to accept that, and our lookup value is going to be the student. Now remember, in the previous video we created a drop-down list with all of our students right here. So this is where this comes in handy. We're going to select this as our lookup value. Now remember, when we used VLOOKUP, we said something in particular about the lookup value in relation to where it has to reside inside of the table. And that was, it has to be in the leftmost column of your table. Well, in the case of HLOOKUP, it doesn't have to be in the leftmost column. Instead, it has to be in the uppermost row of your table or your table array. So what we're going to do is we're going to include our comma, and for our table array, we're going to select the students here, and we're selecting all the way down to their scores. Notice that the students are in the uppermost row of our table array or our table. This is key for HLOOKUP to work. Now, just as we did with VLOOKUP, we want to lock this reference. That's always a best practice. So at this point, press the key F4. Next, for our row index num, and notice instead of including a column, we're going to include a row number, and that's going to tell HLOOKUP which row it has to look inside of to retrieve our answer. So it's looking horizontally this time. So the first subject that we're looking for is mathematics. And just as is the case with VLOOKUP, we have to count these row numbers relative to our table array. So this is going to be row number 1, and mathematics is actually going to be row number 2. So we can select 2, we can include a comma, and for our match we can include 0 for an exact match. We can include our closing parenthesis now. Now, one smart thing that you should do at this point is you should lock the row of this lookup value. Now, the reason that you want to do that is, notice that our lookup value is currently B16. Well, we want to be able to apply this formula downwards. So what's going to happen is B16 is going to change to B17, then B18, and so forth. So we want to lock the reference, at least the row number, to stop that from happening. To do that, we can press the key F4 twice, and that locks the row number for us. We can click enter, and now we can double click here to apply the formula all the way downwards. Now notice we get all the same scores for all of these subjects. That's not accurate, because what we have to do is change the row number for each of the subjects so that HLOOKUP knows where to search to find the scores. So for history, we're going to click into the formula bar here, and we're going to change this 2 to a 3. Let's click enter. For IT, we'll change that 2 to a 4, and we'll continue for the rest of items like that. Just 2 more. And that should give us all of the respective scores for our student. And as you can see here, we got our various statistics. We have the total score, we have the percentage and the grade. And here we have our chart, which gives us a visual of how our student did for each of their respective subjects. If we switch the student, you'll see that the chart is going to update as the lookup value changes for the respective student. So I hope you enjoyed this video demonstrating how each lookup is used. We actually built a very simple dashboard here using each lookup, so I hope you found that exciting.